So a little bit of a mismatch here of products, but we've got VAG guides, and I've got a swag timing chain and the swag top tensioner as well, and of course the old ones that are coming off being replaced with the new. Let's get stuck in. So this is the main guide that the hydraulic tensioner pushes on just here. This is the old original one from 2010. It looks okay. There's a little bit of wear on it, but I wouldn't want to reuse something like that after we've just put new chains and guides on everything else. Again, difficult to get stuff here in Australia, but I managed to get this off eBay. That was really the only place I could get it in stock. I didn't try Genuine though. It did say that this is a Febby brand. However, you'll notice there's no Febby branding on here. However, you can see where the branding has actually been etched off with a hot, probably a soldering iron or something like that. So it probably is a Febby or one of the other OEM manufacturers that has just had the labels taken off it. So you can see obviously the part number's correct. And of course, if we put these on top of each other and side by side, they are identical. So we've got the right one, let's put it in. So we've taken the old chain off. It only had 3 identifier links, but this one you can see has multiple identifying links. We're going to go with the 3 black ones that are kind of on their own because they are also equal distance apart. I'm gonna pop that on those timing marks to line up with the sprockets. First step's going to be removing the old balance shaft chain tensioners and putting the new ones on. Okay, so after we lined up the 3 dots on the inside there, which is really hard to see, so I used the bore scope camera to do that.
Right here, you can see the painted tooth and the 3 dots. So with a small rotation, you get all of these to line up together.
Now we've got to make sure that we line up the dots for the chain. So there's a dot here, which lines up with the pretty much the bolt there, that Torx bolt that you can see. And then up on the left side, the same thing. We've got a timing mark and it should be in line with that Torx bolt. And then on the crankshaft sprocket, it lines up with this identifier here. So once we've got those lined up, we make sure we keep those lined up. And of course, the most important thing, make sure that we're on top dead center as well. And then we can go ahead and put the guides and the tensioner in. Just put an extension down the plug hole and just rotated that until we saw it come up a tiny little bit and then level out and stop moving. So I'm pretty happy that that's very close to top dead center right now. There's an SKF video. They recommend putting some sealant on this. And also we don't want to get oil in that hole. So I actually think this is a bad idea. I don't think it needs it. I'm gonna clean this out because that's way too much. So we've got the chain on, we've got the guides on, but you'll notice that there's still a lot of movement here. And this is where we're gonna need to be careful that we don't mess up this bottom mark. So I'm gonna start putting in the tensioner and just make sure that we've got this where we want it and roll this up into position. Once that's in and got some tension on it, then that's going to hold everything in position. So right now I've just got a tiny bit of tension on that, but we can see our marks lined up. I can see this one is good and I can see this one is good as well. So we're good now to tighten this up. Also, I did prime the hydraulic tensioner with oil as best I could. Okay, so we've tightened all of these triple squares to 20. And we've tightened up the tensioner to 85 Newton meters and everything is timed up nicely. I've rotated just a tiny bit to get the engine to top dead center. Right, so we've got the cam chain on. There's a link here, there's a black one here. So this one actually needs to mate up with this point over here. And then of course right down the bottom I've got to make sure that that lines up. The exhaust cam needs to rotate. 18 fits that, so I can rotate that a little bit. And then I can go and adjust that bottom one. I also don't want to turn the engine over at this point because I want to make sure that we don't lose that timing. And I did get a genuine cam chain tensioner for this one as well. So all the other guides are in and ready to go. I've still got my cam locks in place. Got the right hand side guide in there as well. So I should be able to slip the other one. I've got the hydraulic tensioner in down the bottom there as well. So we literally should be able to just slip this straight in. Let's give it a go. This is actually pretty difficult to film on your own. You've got to make sure you keep obviously your chain link on your timing mark on the pulley. I've still got this lock in place on this one here. I did take this one out so that I could get to this lower bolt and push the guide across enough to get the bolt in for the guide. Then you got your link on top for the right for the inlet cam, and it's obviously on the timing mark there as well. Then we got to go down, make sure that we've got our link down here on the identifier, and we've got this one still for the balance shaft. We've got that one there still for the balance shaft, good. And we've got this one over here, which is good for the right. So right now, it's all looking good. The chain is actually in the teeth as well. That's the other thing to look out for, to make sure that it's actually sitting in the sprocket nicely. So now I should be ready to actually pull the tensioner. Although I haven't torqued this up yet, I might torque this first and then torque the guides, then I'll release the tensioner. Okay, I just squeezed my spanners together a little bit to give me a bit of slack in here, so then I could just slide this top guide in. So now we have all of the guides in. We're gonna double check all of our timing marks, and if all is good, we're going to release that tensioner. Actually, before I release that tensioner, I'll pull off the camshaft lock from there. Wasn't able to capture it on video, but the cam bridge is a little bit tricky because it's tying the two ends of the camshafts together. It doesn't slide straight on. The best way to do that is you need to get this one started first, because the depth allows you to start this one first, and then wind over the crankshaft with a socket as you're pushing on the cam bridge, and you'll find I only had to turn it half a turn and it just slips straight on nicely. Of course, then you've got to make sure you torque all the bolts up correctly. And don't forget the internal one is left-hand thread. Just getting all the front timing cover ready to put back on the engine now. Takes a long time to clean all the old silicone off. From what I've done here, you can see it's not absolutely perfect, but I've managed to get it out of most certainly all the flat surfaces, and most of the grooves are, all the silicone has been removed as well. The important part is keeping everything flat. So basically, to do that, when you're taking it off, you need to get something thin and sharp and just slide it in, and you're really actually cutting
all of that silicone. You definitely don't want to be prying on the case with a screwdriver and just kind of prying it away. That will definitely bend it. But to be honest, if you cut this away and remove this very carefully, I don't see why you need to replace this. The other thing is the screws that come with that. They recommend putting new screws on. Again, I don't see the importance of putting brand new screws on something like this that's held on by silicone. It's an adhesive. Really the only reason you've got those screws in there is to hold that while that adhesive dries. So anyway, this is ready now to have the adhesive put on, and I will do that. You can see where the chain has bounced off some of these areas a couple of times as well. They get a lot worse, obviously, if the chain has moved around much more than that. But yeah, this one's actually not too bad at all.
So one thing we know for sure, it looks like I've got a dead battery. I've been trying to charge it, but it's not responding, not coming up well. The timing cover here, I just sat on to kind of seal it all up, so I need to pull that off and seal that up properly before I put that back on for good. Then I've got things like high pressure fuel pump, and then just the engine mounts, tighten up the flywheel pulley, lots of little stuff. So I just got to crack on and do all of that. Had a really good day yesterday, got everything back together again on the EOS CCZB engine, new battery, had the fuel pump relay out from when we did the first compression test. So I cranked it just to try and get some oil pressure, checked the gaps on some new plugs, put new plugs in it, put everything back together again, the fuse in, cranked it. It took a little bit of cranking actually, I was a little surprised, but it fired up, no problems at all, and it's running now. So today got to clear all the codes and just start finishing everything, like topping up the coolant, checking the oil, just doing a general check over for everything to make sure that it's ready for a roadworthy certificate. Right, let's get this plugged in and get the codes done. So we got a crankshaft position issue, idle control issue, intake runner switch issue, battery low voltage. Let's get those cleared out. Brakes, faults, voltage due to low battery. Let's get those cleared. What else have we got? Air conditioning, battery voltage. Yeah, let's just get all these cleared. That one's not clearing, but I wouldn't be surprised if it'll clear once we start it and turn the steering wheel left and right. Anyway, we've got a clean slate now, so I'm going to go for a start and see what happens. Right, let's get this thing started. idling down nicely. Bit of smoke coming just from burning off some oil, I guess. And here's a perfect opportunity to use my twin air jack method to get my stands out from under the car.
Our yard is an absolute quagmire at the moment. We've had the most rain we've had for years and years, and it's just ridiculous. But I'm going to try and get the car out onto solid ground. Well, that worked surprisingly well.
Oh my goodness.
That's wicked. That's so